In this video, I want to talk about letting go of the past because that's such a huge and crucial thing for all of us to do. And so many people get caught up. And what I mean by that is people get caught up and they start to live in the past, and then their past, their present just becomes a repeat of the past. Like they just feel like they're stuck on a never-ending loop. It's the same story, it's the same results, it's the same life, and nothing ever changes. So one of the ways to break free of that is to really let go of the past. In fact, I've heard it said, the past does not equal the future unless you live there. But the problem with that is most people do live in the past. Living in the past is like driving a car looking at the rearview mirror. How well is that car going to do? It's not going to do very well, and ultimately it will crash. When you're driving, you've got to look forward, you've got to look to where you want to go. So people get caught up with the past and they relive it, and they rehash it, and they analyze it, and I really think that's a giant waste of time. I really think there are only 3 reasons to go visit your past, and I want to tell you what they are. And if not for that, let the past go. I've heard it also say, the best thing about the past is that it's over. So why would you visit the past? What's a way to visit the past? Because the whole idea is to make the past work for you. Most people, they use the past to beat themselves up, to torture themselves, to feel lousy, and so on and so forth. And that's not how we want to use our memories. The 3 ways you want to use the past is, number 1, go back in the past and feel great. Relive a wonderful memory and feel it and enjoy it. I'm sure you have got wonderful memories. So go to the past and play those good memories. Play those movies in your mind. You've got to think of operating your mind. You are the producer, you're the director. You decide what movies go on your mental movie screen. You decide what radio stations you listen to, all the audio, and you're the controller of it. And if you don't like it, change it. We want to go back in the past and just feel good, to lift ourselves up and make ourselves feel good. So that means revisiting wonderful memories, memories that inspire you, memories that make you passionate, memories that make you feel good, peace, love, joy, whatever you want to feel. But that's a great way of using the past. Don't let the past use you. The next way of using the past is to go back into the past to just learn a lesson. The thing here is, what I see a lot of people doing is they'll go into the past, but then they just beat themselves up and say, why did I do this? And I wish I would have done it that way, and this and that. And they'll just bother themselves. And that's not a very resourceful way of operating. What you want to do is go into the past and almost detach from it. And one way you can do it is look at the incident. Say it's an incident that bothers you. Look at it in black and white. Pretend you're in a mental movie theater, and up on the screen is that movie screen of you watching whatever this past instance is. So we're going to go to the past to learn a lesson, but we're going to learn the lesson more objectively without laden with all the emotion. Because if something's very emotionally charged, sometimes it's hard to pick out the lesson from it. When you get more objective, it's much easier to look at, all right, what's the real lesson here, and pull the lesson out. Because that's a useful way of going to the past. I think people who don't know any better are sort of condemned to repeat their same errors. But most of us, if we make an error, we want to learn from it. And so here's a way of learning from it without beating yourself up. It's go to the past instance, go to that past memory, because you want to pick out the lesson. And I like the questions like, okay, what did I learn from this, and what can I do differently next time? Those are my 2 key questions I always go to anytime I'm trying to drive a lesson from an experience I've had. Go watch the event, watch it in a 3rd person. So not a first person. First person is like you're looking out through your own eyes. Watch it as a 3rd person, as if you're watching yourself on the movie screen. So you've got a little distance from it, and we do that to make it less emotionally charged. And then watch it in black and white. So that way you get, there's less emotion involved in it. The big idea here is we want to get the lesson here without getting caught up in the emotion and feeling frustrated or agony or whatever it might be. We want to just get the lesson here. And then watch the memory that you have, whatever is going on, and then ask yourself, okay, what can I learn from this? And you're just watching the movie screen, you're seeing everything transpire, but you have some distance from it, and you see it in black and white. And then say, well, what can I do differently next time so that this won't happen, or less of that happens, or more of this happens, whatever is specific to your instance. And that's a great way of going to the past. So we go to the past, we get the lesson, we learn the lesson, we internalize it, and say, okay, I learned this, and this, and this, and this, and then here's what I'm going to do differently next time. I know sometimes if things go awry or if things don't work out how I anticipated, I'll actually do like a full-blown sort of like post-mortem and figure out, okay, like here were my assumptions. Here's what I thought would happen, and here's why I thought things would happen, and then here's how they actually turned out, and here's what I did, and here's what I didn't do, and then I say, okay, how are my assumptions so off, or how did I miss this? But I do it in more of a clinical and scientific way, so that it's not like, oh right, it's time to flog myself and beat myself up, but more like, all right, let's go figure things out. What was my mindset going in, and how is that different than what actually happened? And how do I sort of correct that so that in the future, things get better? My mindset, my actions line up better, so I produce the results I'm seeking. Because sometimes things just go sideways, we don't know from it, and we want to drive the lesson. And in school, as we're growing up, the teacher gives us the lesson, then we get the test. But in life, we get the test, and then it's up to us to drive the lesson. And if we don't derive the lesson, the big issue is we might find ourselves repeating it over and over. We might get stuck in a sort of this cycle, and we don't want to do that. That's the second reason to actually go to the past. Third reason to go to the past is so that you can feel a resource. And a resource is sort of any emotion, thought, or feeling that would help you in the present. So if you want to feel more peaceful and relaxed, what you can do is you can close your eyes, sort of take some deep breaths, go into the past, remember some times in your past when you've been just super peaceful and relaxed. And I'm just using that as an example. It could be anything. It could be confidence, it could be courage, determination, strength, kindness, love, whatever emotion you want to feel in the present, you just go in the past and feel it. So in my example, I want to feel calm. And the way I can do that is I can close my eyes and I can remember a time in my past that I felt calm, and I can see what I saw, hear what I heard, and feel what I felt, and really immerse myself in that. In this case, I want to be in the first person position, meaning I want to go back there, relive that experience through my own eyes, and really be there and feel it. And the more I can immerse myself in that, the more I'm going to create that feeling within me, because I'll remember it. The mind doesn't know the difference between what's vividly imagined and what is real. So if we're vividly imagining this, in this case, vividly recalling it, then I can start to feel those feelings all over again. And I can bring forth that feeling of calm or relaxation or whatever I want to feel, and I can bring that into the present right now. And then with that calm state, say I'm doing this before a speech, before a presentation for others, or I'm going to a networking event and I'm going to go talk to a lot of strangers. And if that were to give me, to make me anxious or something like that, I could bring to bear calm and relaxation. And you can do this anywhere, anytime, which is really nice. You don't have to have, it's not hard to do. You could just be sitting in your car right before you go somewhere, right before, say, you walk in and you go to that networking event and start talking to people, and you just start to feel those feelings, and you can bring it forth anytime. Those are the three valid reasons to go into the past. And then the way we let go of the past is to remember the best thing about the past is that it's over. It's all done with, and we don't have to live there. We don't have to beat ourselves up. We can just decide to feel good. I think that's one of the most important things you can do, is say, hey, I'm going to let go of the past. Is really just make that decision. It's drawing a firm line in the sand saying, hey, no longer am I going to go in the past and analyze things and loop things in my brain and feel bad about it. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to learn from the past, or I'm going to go back and just make myself feel good, or I'm going to summon a resource, like an emotion I need right now in the present. that's a little tidbit on how to let go of the past, how to use the past to make it work for you instead of it working against you.